Thank you for joining us today at the Independent Garden Center show in Navy Pier in Chicago. Today we're interviewing Mr. Nice Guy, Paul Parent, from the nationally syndicated radio show, the Paul Parent Garden Club. Paul is probably responsible for more successful flower and vegetable beds, lawns, and landscapes in all of the New England states, more than any other regional garden authority. Hi, Paul. Thanks for taking the time for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So, Paul, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and your radio show?
Well, we started the radio show 28 years ago. Started on one station. We are now up to 52 stations, 26 in New England and the remainder throughout the United States. It's a 4-hour live question and answer program, and it's 52 weeks a year. We also do a weekly newsletter and try to educate the homeowner on making gardening fun again and to take all the scariness out of it and to try and do things more naturally in their garden.
So how has the weather been in the New England area? Has it been favorable for gardening?
This year it's been a really tough year. We started off cold, we started off wet, and April and part of May was very, very wet. And people had a difficult time because of the weather. They get started, everything would rot, and disease problems were every place. And a product like yours with the wet and forget has really been a big benefit to the homeowner. Due to all of the moisture, the buildings are turning green, the patios, the decks. So this is a great product. I'm really excited about it.
It's good to hear that. So what were some of the big trends for 2011 in gardening?
Well, due to the slow economy and due to the weather, I think a lot of more people stayed home this year. So a lot more vegetable gardening. People did a lot more yard work, again, because they weren't traveling. So they fixed up the lawn, they planted more flowers, shrubs, trees, and I think they're really getting to enjoy their backyards, their decks, patios, their pool areas. So that's the one thing that we've seen, more home during the summer season.
Okay. And then have you seen anything new and exciting on the floor of the IGC for 2012?
There's a lot of great items. There's a lot more natural products, more organic products, a lot more specialty shrubs and trees for the homeowners, some new flowers. So it's always exciting to come here and see what's going to happen next year, a whole year in advance.
Fall is fast approaching. What are some of the most popular garden projects for the fall?
Well, this time of the year after the type of season we had, I think people are going to be working on their lawns. Will be a major thing. They're going to be doing a lot of repair work on the house, painting, putting in storm windows to help save money energy-wise. And of course the fall is the best time to reseed the lawn and to bring it back after a harsh summer month with all the heat and drought in areas. So I think staying at home, repairing it, getting it ready for the winter months will be the main project, and getting the lawn back in shape.
Do you have any suggestions for fall cleanup in and around the garden, other than using wet and forget, of course?
I think people are starting to realize now that the days of taking their leaves, pine needles that fall on the ground and bagging them and throwing them on the side of the road has come to an end. And people are realizing now that you can take that foliage, grind it up with your lawnmower, put it back into your lawn, and it's a way to make the grass grow better, thicker, fuller. It puts energy back into the soil, and it costs you nothing. So they're recycling, and it's like making their own compost pile with what they already have. Composting is getting more and more popular, and putting back into the soil what you have taken out of it.
So Paul, how long have you been using wet and forget now?
We've been using wet and forget for 6 years, and being that I'm on the radio, I always try every product because I don't want people coming back to me and saying they bought it because I suggested it and they didn't have positive results. So I used it at my son's home. He lives in Florida. in the Florida, mold and mildew on the side of the house is everywhere. We applied it. Within 30 days, it was gone. And it lasted the entire year. And that was a project that we would do every single February. We would spend a couple weeks with my son, pressure wash the house, then we'd have to paint because the pressure washer took all the paint off. With this product, spray it and forget it, no more painting for Dad.
So do you have any other fun, exciting stories to share about your Wet and Forget experience?
I'll tell you, I get listeners every week that will comment on your product. We have a man who called us. He has a home on a small pond and with moisture around his house nonstop. And every year he would have to pressure wash his house. He used the Wet and Forget, vanished. We had a woman on Cape Cod, and she would put up canvas awnings. In the fall, take them down because of the snow. She would use the Wet and Forget in the fall. It would clean it off, and that way in the spring, they were perfect. And it saved her an awful lot of labor. Great product.
Well, Paul, we'd like to thank you again for taking time out of your schedule. We always enjoy hearing your gardening stories and, of course, your experiences with Wet and Forget. And that's it today from the IGC show in Chicago.
Thank you.
Wet and Forget.